Hello, Namaskar. Welcome to my piano project. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of a correct posture while playing the piano. A posture is a very important part of the technique when we play any instrument. It can involve how we keep our hands, how far we sit from the instrument, how we sit. All of that is included in our posture. So today I'm going to be taking you in a step-by-step process which explains how we want to sit at the piano and how we want to keep a correct posture while playing the piano. Before we even get to how we want to keep our hands at the piano, I want to talk to you about how you want to keep the rest of your body, how you want to sit at the piano, how you want to position yourself and get ready to keep your hands on the piano and play. So the most important part of piano posture is to stay relaxed all the time. You have to keep your fingers relaxed to keep them moving all the time, your wrists to keep them flexible, your elbows so that you can move almost like you're bowing a violin. Your shoulders should not be tensed, otherwise you can have problems with them later as well. If you play the piano with tense shoulders, everything has to be relaxed. So when you sit like this. You sit at approximately a length where your arm can be parallel to the floor and your elbow can have a slight bend like this. That is the ideal length. Sit a bit at the edge of your chair, keep your feet flat on the floor and sit at approximately this length from the piano. Relax your shoulders, let your arms hang loose underneath your chair like this. And if you're ready and everything is relaxed and you feel comfortable, move on to the next step. The next step is actually getting your arms on the piano and positioning them properly. So far, we're in this position with everything relaxed. From here, put your arms on the piano. Keep your wrists in a line with your forearms, which, as I discussed earlier, are around parallel to the floor. So your wrists are an extension of your forearm and your elbows have a slight bend in them. So when you move your arms over the piano, your fingers will always stay in the same relative position to the piano. The only thing that actually moves is this joint and your wrist, like this. If you move to the right, it will go like this, where this extends like this and your wrist goes like this, so that your hand still has the same relative position to the piano. And then going back, it goes like this. So try to get your hands into this position, and if you're comfortable, move on to the next step. The next step, the third step in developing a correct piano posture is how you keep your hands. Not your wrists, not your elbows, not your arms, just your hands. Basically just your fingers, how your fingers should be positioned. So first of all, again, you have to keep your fingers relaxed. You have to keep them very relaxed. That's the first important part. Second, all your joints, which are places your fingers can curve. You have 3 joints. This is one joint. You can move from here, or you can move from here, or you can move from here. All 3 of these should be curved inwards. A good way to develop this and to get the exact position is to put your other hand into a fist and put your second joint on your knuckle. When it fits around this, that's approximately the correct position. Another easy way to develop this is first focus on playing with your second, third, fourth and fifth finger. Focus on playing with the tips of your fingers, which is the ends here. So if you position your fingers correctly, while also keeping the earlier steps in mind, your hand should look somewhat like this. And now your thumb is a special case because it's aligned differently to the rest of your hand. The thumb you have to play from around here, which is the corner of your nail, the skin next to that. That's where you have to play from. So your hands will naturally curl into something like this. So your hands should look somewhat like this. If you're like this, if your hands are like this, and they're relaxed, you can keep them relaxed enough that you can actually move your fingers and your wrists, but tight enough that your hands don't fall down. Go on to the next step. Now that we've gone over how we want to sit at the piano, how we want to keep our arms, how we want to keep our fingers and our hands, let's get to how we actually want to play the piano. So, as I was talking earlier about joints, when we play the piano, we only actually move our big joint, our knuckle is what we call it. So when we play a note, the only part that actually moves is that joint. Think of your finger as a kind of a hammer, and this is where it moves from. So it goes up like this and it hits the piano. It hits the key from your fingertip. So any note you can hit like this, like this, like this, like this. Your thumb is a bit different, but you'll still strike it from the same place and it will still be a kind of a hammer. So to practice this, keep all your 5 fingers on a separate note and just lift and play one at a time. Don't move any part apart from your fingers. And again, remember to keep your wrist, elbow and fingers incredibly relaxed, but not relaxed, not that relaxed, that you won't be able to play because it'll just fall down. So, let's try and practice this. First, our first finger, our second finger, third finger, fourth finger, and our fifth finger. And as soon as the next note plays, lift up your previous finger. So, when our first finger plays and when our second finger comes to play, we lift up the first finger. Now try it with your left hand. So first practice these hands separate and really slowly until you get the hang of it, and then try and do both hands at the same time. With the first finger, then our second finger, then our third, then our fourth, then our fifth. And if you really want to take it another step, what you can do is you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can keep going around. So after all this, you'll have a good overview of how you want to have your posture when you play the piano. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about our first raga. I'm going to be teaching you your first raga. Wait and see what it is.